hero has absolutely no way to deal with summons. I think the way to beat him is to just throw like Wraith King skeletons at him, throw Phantom Lancer illusions at him, something like that. He just doesn't do anything. Meteor Hammer is pathetic against that. It doesn't do enough.
But like we said before, if you're going to spend that much time trying to counter an OD first pick, could be position 4 or 5. Could be literally any position for the most part.
That's a good point. That is a good point. I think if teams were more experimental with that, like you see it in pubs a lot, but I haven't seen it in DPC yet. But if you do throw the OD4 and you have some Wraith King, it's like, well, is it really that big of a deal if it's countered? Okay, there's the combo. Prison into arrow. Very nice.
What do you think of the new Ags on Mirana? I've been hearing good things about it. Sounds absolute, like on paper, sounds horrible. But I've heard a couple pros say that they like it a lot. I don't know
Can
if
you
that's
remind
just
us
a
what
small
it is
sample.
in case maybe
So
slipped their mind?
to my knowledge, I haven't looked this up recently. The arrow, when you throw it out, it casts a star storm on every unit in the area that it travels, and I think there's maybe an extra proc at the end or something
At the
like that,
whoever it hits gets the second hit of the Starstorm, like as
which is
if it was
half damage.
with the spell. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Is it good?
big damage. I mean, you get you get your regular storm. So like if you Yules into arrow somebody, like they do take 1,000 damage. So it
Hmm.
doesn't sound that bad, but you're right. On paper, it's like
It's good against
I don't
summons
know.
then. Good against Mr. Nature's Prophet, theoretically.
I mean, if you're arrowing treants, I feel like
Countered.
You've got some whack priorities. Oh
And
no, my trees.
see hey, if they're bigger, if they're greater tree ants,
True,
all right, you
true.
need to arrow those, like literally arrow those.
You do.
Uh,
Those are pretty crazy.
Oracle DP, pretty strong healing combo. Basically can't kill
Absolutely.
DP.
Man, and you know what? Because I saw the Oracle come out, and it's like on its own, it doesn't really seem like there's a purpose for it. So there must be something to come. I was gonna get an inkling of are these guys brave enough to pull out something like I don't know Huskar or some crazy cheesebick? But
Oh,
DP makes a lot of sense. And one thing I was thinking about is that they changed that heart. This is like kind of random, but they removed it where you don't have to be out of combat to get the regen. Correct? You just get the
Yep.
regen.
Yep.
Now
Yep.
imagine that with False Promise. Like that is an absurd amount of regen. Imagine that
True.
also with Soul Siphon on top of it. Like DP
Yeah.
will not die if she
so
happens to pick up a heart, but already she gets so much regen boost from Oracle. Any potential heart candidates just get so much extra loving in the late game with an Oracle too.
Jenkins, how good is like if you're playing like a carry or a mid, like probably for the past year and a half or even more, you would never buy Heart ever. It would always be Satanic.
Oh yeah.
Is Heart good enough now to just buy on your position 1, for example,
I think
instead of
it's like
Satanic?
I think it's like there's a mix of like heart has been buffed enough and satanic is just bad. Like satanic without the status resist, nobody's
Yeah,
going
that's the
for it.
big
So
loss.
it does really feel like carries are there are certain carries that like functioned based
Mhm.
on having satanic in the late game and just now it feels really weird. Like, do I get a Sanjin Yasha? People are even going for like 6-item Sanjin Yasha, which is super weird because you'd never see that before. It's a small item, right?
Yeah.
But status resist.
Yeah. And the point was just being as the stock in items that provide that ridiculous regen goes up, the stock in Oracle could also go up along with it as a great defensive hero. PA comes out. This is the second time, right? We saw PA played on Tuesday in the hands of Evil Geniuses, if I'm not mistaken. And here she is going to make a reappearance as someone to hopefully kind of get into the fight, maybe just jump to the back lines, wipe out an Oracle real quick, and then kind of get in the face of a DP to deal with her as like maybe a second. But good insta burst. Why are we seeing her so much now as opposed to before 7.28?
I think a lot of the other popular carries have kind of fallen off. Like her timing is really simple. You get a Battle Fury, you get a Deso, okay, you can fight, you do damage, and you get a BKB Deso, and all of a sudden she just wins the game. It's extremely easy to play around that timing, and there just doesn't seem to be much that beats it. Even these new carries, like Lycan Monkey King, they don't really beat this PA Battle Fury Deso timing. And nothing does. So I mean, especially in a matchup like this where you feel like you're just outclassing the enemy team in terms of your team play and rotations, like you're going to hit that timing. It feels like it's bound to happen. So which means you're bound to win, which of course is great when you're playing in the literal DPC for a major.
All right, ladies, look at this. We got Wind Ranger, PA Marana. It's the trifecta here from Undying coming out at the end. Wind Ranger at the end, also quite a particular pickup.
I have no idea what
going where?
position these heroes are. Windrunner, Marana, and OD. The question is, which one is the support?
I think
to
it's
go along
Wind.
with Undying?
I think it's I think it would be Marana support just because you have the OD sideline set up for the arrow. That feels really good. Okay, so they go for a TB. They go for summon hero. I mean, that's kind of crazy against OD. I feel like OD with the pure damage and magic damage in lane, he gets 6. You imprison him and just press ult on him. I feel like Undying or the Terrorblade just dies to OD. That's a
Yeah.
little crazy to me, this pick.
All right. I mean, I know you guys want to favor Undying right away because they're so skilled and very good, but let's say they're just equal planes. Based on draft alone, gentlemen, who wins this?
Undying.
Okay. Jackets.
I'm gonna go Undying too. I'm gonna go.
All
Undying.
right, you guys. All right. I was trying to give A-Team some loving, but we'll see if the casters feel a bit different on it. Let's send it over to them now after a break. We got Lyrical and GoDz bringing you the coverage.
Welcome back again, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2 up here. Oh, look at our lovely faces. We're so excited for the game to get going. Parker, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Now that they can see us clearly.
That's right.
In still motion. I'm doing good. Looking forward to game 2. Been enjoying NA Dota a lot this week. And just, excited to be here, Gabe. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I've picked up ventriloquism recently, and I'm ready to engage in other hobbies, which is watching Dota 2 and enjoying it as well. But yeah, we've got Undying versus the freaking A-Team. Game number 1 was rough, but I think that some of the things the points that Jenkins was making were good things to keep in mind. That in the laning stage, things looked relatively even, and I think that's something that we see a lot in these sort of teams that have tier 1 team experience versus ones that like normally would just be sort of considered a stack of players that are joining together. But it shows a lot of potential room for improvement. And the thing that I really like is that A-Team's going back to basics. They're saying, all right, we're going to play around DP ulti. We're going to play around metamorphosis, have like clearly defined times when we fight and clearly defined times when we're just hiding away.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I think where we see the less experienced teams have the most success, you kind of mentioned, and Jenkins said, skill-wise, these guys are comparable in individual skill. It's the team skill that's a problem. So I think simplifying your strategy to have those big spells to play around and big spells that take objectives. You're not going to win a game of Dota if you don't take objectives. So playing around Exorcism and Metamorphosis is a much more simplified way to play Dota, which is what you got to do when you're the less experienced team.
True. Well, laning setups already at the beginning, though. We are going to have the Terrorblade going up top with a little bit of help from Old Yoda, and that's going to be the matchup against OD Marana. So, man, if Old Yoda steps out of lane at any point, he is liable to just get, astraled and then arrowed. That could be really rough.
Yeah, it does not sound like an easy lane by any means. At least the first level should be okay. They're going to just arrow a range creep. Saberlight's going for the level 1 Arcane Orb, which is being most common, and Ryze is instantly popping the Metamorph to do as much damage as he can.
True. Getting pushed back a little bit, at least there, and we'll see how they sort of pulling the lane back into a good equilibrium. Meanwhile, down bottom, there's a little bit of a battle of Bruin. Yeah, he's just punching back, and Bloody Sky might actually be dead. He's got another decay, and Dubu drawing first blood on the Undying. Well played.
Yeah, that's not what you want to have happen. The Nature's Prophet is kind of picked up as a counter pick to the Undying, at least as far as the lane goes. You're meant to have those trains where you can kind of fight him with, but unfortunately, Nature's Prophet gets bested by the Dubu Undying.
Well, it's going to be a tough one for sure. He had a bit of a tough time against the Undying last game, and I'm sure he's just like, please just take it away from him. Don't give it to him again. But, they decide to stick with it, and we'll see if he can make it work on this NP here. Mid lane, haven't talked about a whole heck of a lot. Bryle facing off against Prince yet again, with the Wind Ranger already 10-3 versus the 6-1. Wind Ranger doing a pretty good job of keeping the pressure on with the power shots early.
Yeah. Very, very well played by Bryle. Definitely one of the premier mid laners in the NA DPC. And he's going to be rushing a bottle, but yeah, doing well here so far. I don't imagine we'll see any kills early on. The Spirit Siphon means that Death Prophet has a way to kind of sustain and kind of deter any aggression from Bryle, but it is very much a battle of the CS.
True. Right now, at least, Bryle is the one taking that battle, and actually taking the battle all across each of the lanes ever since that metamorphosis has gone down. Rises has fallen a little bit behind the OD here, who is going to be able to keep the pressure on, taking just still the point in the Arcane Aura and keeping the point in Essence Flux as well. So wanting to just sort of trade hits constantly and not even going for the potential for the Astral plays into Arrow.
Meander up top is taking a lot of damage.
Oh, and Yoda gets the hit on him. Okay.
Yeah. Purifying Flames, he had the mangoes. Does allow Moon to maybe bring some items up. It's not really like a costly death for him necessarily. But this lane is going to get trickier for A team, I feel like, as Saberlight gets some levels. He's now got that first point in Astral, so now you've got that arrow set up.
Definitely. Something to watch for there, as they are going to try and get a little pull off to the side. Yoda pulling it away. And that does leave Rises in a bit of a precarious situation here as they try and keep the pressure on. But yeah, all three lanes this time. I mean, when you lose a game like that last one, it's hard not to sort of carry some of that weight into game number 2. And we'll see if they can sort of get their feet back underneath them here on the A team over the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, I think look to see if these teams can test the 4-minute runes. It looks like Sabo already headed bottom, recognizing that, hey, Bryle's Wind Ranger, if he gets a power rune here, that could be very problematic for Prince, who is already slightly losing this lane. Both teams sending supports to try and secure those 4-minute runes.
Well, rolls on in, but the rune is top, where Moon Meander is going to have it set up for him. Bryle going to make that run up to the north, and though they brought one, they bring a couple more on the side of Undying.
That's, yeah, really good for Bryle. It's not a rune that's going to allow him to get kills. Oh, nice snipe up top. They use the Metamorphosis and bring down Saberlight, so Old Yoda's done a good job of securing this game for the TB.
Yeah, that's what you need to have happen if you're the A team for sure. And that's also the price, obviously, of having Moon Meander head down towards mid. An A team taking good advantage of that, and now we'll see what they can transition that into. As down bottom, more aggression. Bloody Sky actually going to TP away. He will have his teleportation back afterwards once he refills on all of his items and everything.
Yep, smart choice, just to get the hell out of there. Back atop, Moon taking a lot of damage himself. Should be okay with the leap charges here. It's going to be close.
God. He held that fairy fire. never in doubt. That's crazy. Old Yoda might be in some trouble himself. 2 points in Astral now. Follow up with the arrow. Able to connect. Well played. And Yoda trying to fairy fire. Turns on the Moon, but can't quite get the touch. Does have an illusion chasing him there, as Saberlight is also going to walk away, and roll in coming as Osbo sensing a little bit of danger for him. No more leap charges. He doesn't have the mana. He can't quite get the boulder smash, but he is still going to get the chase down. He has another roll in a second. Moon has a leap, tries to get away. Sasbo roll, hits it, able to connect and to be able to run down this Mirana finally. As Mirana will take one last arrow before she goes.
Yeah, nice play. Good rotation from Sabo, taking a page from Moon's book from the last game. You got to be active on this Earth Spirit. Go to where the kills can be found. Almost has that urn, and once that urn's up, you just want to be constantly roaming and fighting around whichever cores can get you kills.
Well, that is definitely what you want to see if you're an A-team fan. Prince trying to run up here towards the top side, gonna pop Exorcism even for this one, and chase down is going to come. The connection is there. Good rotation also from the Blaze Sky, and with all these creeps being summoned, if Bryle goes down here, can they quite get in range? Not in time. But they might be able to pressure this tower nonetheless, and well, at least a kill onto Dubu as 4 heroes come towards mid.
Yeah, good way of just taking advantage of the fact of, you know, the rune spawned on the side that Prince needed it to. He was able to grab it, force a kill, recognize that Bryle had committed Wind Run to try and get to the rune quicker, so he didn't actually have that escape. And unfortunately, they don't kill the Wind Ranger, but with the Siege Wagon here and an Exorcism up, they get some good damage on this tier 1 tower before Moon TP's in to snipe the Siege Wagon.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good reaction from Undying as well. Like you say, bringing in the Mirana and making sure that catapult doesn't stay alive that much longer. It's still a 2,000 gold lead right now for Team Undying, but you can see at least there's some semblance of a... Oh, Rise up top! Oh my god, he's dead! He's got ultied! Damn. Okay. A little bit too far forward there from the Terrorblade, and I guess that's the danger of playing against the good old OD.
I guess it was the Meteor Hammer reveal. I don't know if he'd seen it being picked up yet. We're going to see another combo up top. Oh, the
good
roll
block.
gets blocked. Dubu.
Sick
So
play.
nice.
Now trying to turn, hits an arrow now on Bloody Sky. TP away from Saberlight. They can't get that kill, and Dubu is going to drop down his tombstone afterwards. And, well, even try and stay alive a little bit longer as Moonmeander dies to Prince elsewhere. Taking them on a little journey, TP away, not going to happen. And then a little bit of farm from the tombstone, too.
Dubu will die a hero's death. He helped secure the kill and allowed Saberlight to just TP out. Okay. Really nice play from him.
Odia Marana, 100% win rate. Wow. Okay. Good to know.
Definitely one of those age-old combos that people have been running for a long, long time.
It definitely, I mean, the thing that's interesting about it in this game is they haven't even had to use the combo that much. They used it on the Oracle, but just been kind of outlaning them a little bit.
Yeah, and with the new OD Meteor Hammer build, you've kind of got your own follow-up to the Astral, so if anything, we may not see them try and force the Arrow Astral combo as much this game.
True. Well,
Fishing for kills up top. The Ward did scout out this rotation, so it does seem like they know what's going on. But Saberlight, uh-oh, he caught a bit of vision. He knows where Sabo is.
gonna roll away there, not get caught by the Astral, and so the retreat away, and then gonna do the Meteor Hammer onto the tier 1 tower.
Yep. He was trying to get the creeps with it, but he just ever so slightly mistimed it. Not a big deal for him. And similar to last game, it feels like Undying are, you know, having a... Well, last game was more of an even laying stage. This time around, they're slightly ahead, but they're doing all of this while Tomato just free farms. PA, top CS, top net worth, completely unpressured.
The difference that I'm seeing, at least for now, is there isn't that like crazy acceleration and damage, although we are going to see Yoda get caught. A very nice arrow from Moon, and Soul Rip afterwards to secure it, but can they fight back into this one? Exorcism's going to come out. Dubu gets taken down in a moment here by Rises. And so 2 kills for that Oracle, well worth it. And I mean, do they try and make anything else happen here?
Yeah,
Kind of moving in.
I'm really liking how A-Team's playing. Anytime Undying forces a fight, they say, we're ready to fight too. We've got all of our key spells. Exorcism, Metamorphosis is up. They just take a team fight and they're going to get a tier 1 tower.
Very well played. And it's only 1,000 gold lead right now. And this is what you need to do, as you mentioned. You know, you take simple spells, you make the moves with them, and then go back and farm afterwards. How big of a concern is it, though, the fact that Tomato's been getting free farm? You mentioned that it's at least something to be worried about. Like, if he gets this Battle Fury, does he match up pretty well? So we're going to see a dead NP.
I think it's definitely... Like, I think both TB and PA, like, they're... Neither hero counters the other. You know, TB doesn't want to build MKB. PA, you're playing physical damage into a very high armor hero, the Terrorblade, who's just going to be able to shrug off a lot of that physical damage. So I wouldn't say they're overly concerned about the PA having free farm, but it does present a situation where they're still behind. Undying, even though they lost that fight there and lost their 2 on mid tower, they still have, they're still in a better position right now.
Okay. Catapult's going down, or rather the tower's going down. They don't have a Marana to hit the catapult away. And thinking about TPing in there with the NP, but cancel that one. Bloody Sky instead is going to look elsewhere for greener pastures and try and get into that Orchid as soon as possible, which can make their ganking potential that much stronger. Wow. Once per 6 minutes of gameplay for Dubu. That is...
Well, he's not even top 10. He's doing fine.
That's impressive.
It's definitely one of those heroes you die a lot on.
True.
5 down
Saving
bottom.
the point right now on Rises. He does have Sunder available, thinking about a turnaround there, but the save comes from Yoda. And gonna TP away afterwards. Will have enough heal, I believe, when he gets back to the fountain to stay alive. But nonetheless, they lose the Oracle. A lot of rotations down bottom for that, though. Oh, Prince. Mid. Saberlight just drops the hammer.
I think Saberlight's played this offlane OD a number of times. Based on what we're seeing here, he looks very proficient. That's his second solo kill this game. Both of those, he's killed the carry and the mid laner by himself.
I don't even know if he astraled him. It wasn't on cooldown when I looked. He must have though. Unless he just hit that meteor hammer freehand. But regardless, really good play from Saberlight, as you mentioned, out of the off lane. And last game as well. He's going to drop another meteor hammer onto that tier 1, trying to roll in now. They get the magnetize onto 2. Now the silence onto several. It's going to be a dead Dubu. Can they find any more afterwards? 3 application of magnetize. It's a really hard roll in though.
Yeah, he's their only stun. It's such a, he's playing so well in the Earth Spirit. He's 007. He's been in 7 of their 9 kills, but it's like he's like, guys, I got a good initiation. Who else can stun them or keep them in place? The Sprout is the only other like lockdown they have. And well, if you have a Quelling Blade or a Power Shot, you're getting out of that Sprout. So tricky times.
It's true. Do almost have an Orchid now. Dubu is going to give his life for the cause down bottom yet again.
Yep.
As well, there's the Sprout now trying to roll in and find the catch for the kill. He drops the Tombstone. People are TPing into this. Bryle wants to show up. Okay, so is Moon and Saberlight. Everybody's here. They've got the Meteor Hammer afterwards. Good roll away from that Earth Spirit. They're going to lose the Oracle yet again. And, able to dodge the arrow just barely. They don't have vision. He has Power Shot again in a second, but the roll away yet again from the Earth Spirit. They can't find him. Oh, wait, no, they got vision. They did a little sneaky peek through the trees. And they'll take him down, too.
They knew he didn't have a TP, unfortunately.
Dubu, what a hero.
Dubu has been very impressive. Him and Saberlight have been the 2 stand-up players this particular game. And I think really, like, they've done a really good job holding their own on the A-team side, having some good fights, but PA continuing to free farm now as a battlefield.
That's a dangerous situation for sure. This Prince is going to try and chase down Saberlight, but turning their sights now towards Bryle. Well, I'm not sure if they're going to find anybody, actually. They do not have detection.
Yeah.
That one hurts.
So look at a tower, but I don't think you feel good about that if you're A-team. You really wanted to get a kill on one of the core heroes. They're going to smoke up, but Exorcism is going to be wearing off. TP does have Metamorph, so I don't mind this. I actually think this is how they're going to win this game.
Okay, chase down, trying to find Bryle. They have the Q available from Oracle. Fortune's End connects and dead.
Yep.
Okay, and now trying to take down this Tombstone afterwards. Soul Rip heals it back up a bit more, but they take that one down. Turning on to Moon, trying to roll in. Saberlight there banishes for 1. Can they find any more of these kills afterwards, though? Rises, trying to beat them down to death. They throw down the big ol' ulti. Sunder's still available, though. Throws it back over onto Dubu. Metamorphs is still going. Tomato jumps now onto Rise. He just gets exploded. As Exorcism wore off, the fight wore away, and A-team couldn't connect.
Yeah. It was a good idea, but then there's this PA that shows up, and this PA is incredibly farmed, level 14, with a ton of right-click damage at this point, and OD's Sanity's removing about 75% of TB's health, even though he gets the Sunder off. That's his entire mana pool gone. Nice combo.
Take him down.
Yep. Catch Earth Spirit as well, and they'll pick up most of these bounty roots, but I mean, a good idea from A-team. They're definitely showing like really good just signs that they know what they know what they're doing, of course, but they can be competitive here.
Right. Yeah, it's decisions that you like to see, but maybe just a bit too far behind because of, I mean, it's a high risk, high reward play right there, definitely. Arrow is going to be perfectly timed, as well as the Meteor Hammer, and they just drop all of it onto Prince's head. And now with the 6,000 gold lead, things starting to very heavily tilt into the favor of Undying.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue has just been their inability to keep heroes locked in place. Like, they popped that Exorcism and didn't get any kills with it. They popped the Metamorphosis, and even though there was kind of a fight going on, it wasn't like there was a hero stun that was going to die in Metamorphosis. So, Undying continuing to just outmaneuver them because of the kind of lack of stuns on the A-team.
True. That's a tough one. They're going to bring in some heroes up top. Bryle's going to push out that lane and then try and secure Roche at the same time. Tomato will pick up the Aegis there as well. You got to get the feeling as Saberlight's trying to chase the Bloody Sky. He gets him. Ooh, Orchid? He is just tickling him. Dude, he is literally just tickling him. but they bring in more. Can they find this kill? This would be a really nice get onto Saberlight. But going invis, where's the detection? They don't have it. They're not going to get him. Oh no, he gets away, and now the rest of them are in a terrible position. Trying to TP out Rises will escape, but the rest of the A team is getting dismantled. 3 go down, looking for a 4th here on Prince. Bryle trying to get into position, gets the power shot, but doesn't quite have the angle or the range for the shackle.
He's still looking.
This guy's crazy.
Towers.
I mean, he knew he was coming. They get vision. There's going to be the shackle, doesn't quite latch, but it doesn't matter. They'll find Prince and take him down too quick.
Yeah, that was too much chase potential, and the double damage PA. Still fishing around with a blur, trying to find some more kills, but we'll just farm some creep waves here, and this is where we're going to start seeing the pressure just add up. They're going to keep all these lanes pushed out, and anybody poking their noses out is just going to be potentially gone on, as we see here, Tomato. Oh boy.
That'll teach you to take his ward. Tomato, just, I mean, like you said, heads up play about where to be to find that kill. Rises, runs into Dubu, realizes I can't actually stay here anymore. Shackle, not gonna latch. Power shot comes through afterwards. Dubu will die to the illusion. It was very nicely played there. Rises now, seeing what he can do. They pop Exorcism. They already had meta out. Old Yoda able to get the Dispel. Bloody Sky ends up getting caught. Tomato is just taking no prisoners here. Down low, but with the Aegis, he's not afraid. Ready to go back in for more. This guy just has a bloodlust at the moment, as he is looking in the back lines, seeing if he can find anybody. Prince gets jumped on, the big jump and the big hit from Saberlight, and now the Meteor Hammer afterwards. It all comes landing on their head. An ultra kill from Tomato. Pretty as can be.
Not even sweating it. The PA 9-0 and 2, completely uncontested. Comes online at the perfect time. You know, his team were just starting to need him because of the progression on the TB and the Death Prophet. I was like, no problem, you guys have created enough space for me. Deso, Battle Fury, and now a BKB coming out as well.
You can see the immediate transition. Take that tier 2 tower, run up, get the outpost. Meanwhile, down bottom, they do get a kill onto Moon as he was trying to push out the side lanes. Oh, wait, no, wait. Why didn't he take the outpost? Go get the outpost. All right, there we go. Dubu's on it. Dubu's on the job.
Yeah, he's got times. Dubu will always do the team thing.
Well, 20 minutes now with a 13k gold lead. An A team just trying to hold their triangle.
And they know where they are because of that bounty rune, so they're smoking right at them here. Ryle's a bit low, though.
Jumps right at the start. Orchid gonna connect now, trying to take down one. This is a nice kill to start it off as they kill off the OD. Now Prince trying to TP away to make his escape. They lose the Oracle and the Nature's Prophet, and Rises has to be careful. Sunder, walk away. Silence, misses. It's a little dangerous here, but they will call off the charge.
Oh, they're happy just to back off. His Aegis going to be expiring in about a minute's time, so he wants to perhaps try to find a way to use it in a team fight, or if not, he doesn't want to make sure it doesn't expire mid-fight.
Well, he can just jump on Prince right there. Just make sure he doesn't get caught, like you said, in that minute mark. But they do have more items to pick up now as well, as it's the next round of neutrals. Right now, Dire only hanging on to that Van Brace, but a smoke out and pings coming immediately. They have an inkling of where A team is.
It really shows how Undying's playing, though. They haven't even found all the neutral items themselves, and we're at 21 minutes. And they're the team who's been able to farm all the jungle. I think Bryle's literally just jungling now because he's like, guys, we need to get these neutral items. You know, where are they? They've been prioritizing, you know, taking fights, map control, and just pressuring A team. It's been really effective this game.
Absolutely. Oh,
Wow. Bait.
They found him. They found him right away. And there's the Meteor Hammer connection. Blade Mail will not stop them from keeping that pressure on as he comes out of this second imprisonment. Saberlight will clean up the kill as, well, now Bryle's looking for more. Shackle onto both possibly, doesn't quite latch. Neil Scepter and they'll walk away. Oh, meta, Dubu. Okay, They take down Yoda, and Dougal just walks away. They can't catch him. Tomato turned upon. They banish yet again. Oh, he's got the ulti. Say's Eclipse ready to come down here in just a moment. He's just building up his stacks. So much mana and didn't get a chance to get away. Saberlight the monster as GG is called. Damn, what a spanking. Undying looking really good.
Yeah, individually as a team, you know, everything's clicking for them. Very impressed, showing some variety in their drafts, their strategies, and just all around really good stuff. And I think definitely a team that when people saw their roster, you know, you expected this to be a team that could potentially contest those top two slots in the North American region that go to the major, and definitely showing it here.
Yeah, I think that there's a realistic chance. I mean, it's going to be tough for them, but this feels like a team that at least could contend with those other matches. And if things go a little bit wild, if NA keeps on getting better across the region, this could be a team that maybe not in this season, but maybe in this season they could make it to the major. Who's to say?
Absolutely.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for our first series of the day. Going to head on back to the panel now, see what they said about that, see what they thought about that game number 2. But first, a quick break.
Well, hello there, and welcome on back to more NADPC action. We've just concluded our first series of today's action, and it was a clinic put on by Undying versus A-Team. Now, A-Team, of course, the team that did manage to inch it into the upper division right there at the end. And Undying, a team that did have to play through the qualifiers, but are obviously well-established veterans and competitors. We knew coming into this it was going to be their series to win and a huge upset if it wasn't working. And I'm going to hand it to you guys. It does sound like I have a little audio thing I'm going to fix.
You sound, don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You sound great,
sound
young
beautiful.
man.
It's amazing. It's
Just
really
a
beautiful.
It must be awful. It must be so bad.
Oh, no. Don't let anybody bring you down, okay? You sound beautiful.
All right, then this is on you. I'm handing it to you then, Suns fan.
All right, no problem. I am the new host of this series.
Oh, no.
This was Undying. I mean, Jenkins has a lot of experience with my hosting, my one and only time hosting. Boy, I really knocked that one out of the park. But Jenkins, I felt like this game was a lot closer for the first half, perhaps, than the previous game. Felt like the last game after like level 6, like we talked about, the game was just over, essentially. But this time, a little bit more back and forth. I like some of the moves from A-Team, especially I think GoDz brought it up in Lyrical, where the Exorcism and what was the other spell that was down? Exorcism was down and Metamorphosis was down, and then they ended up smoking anyway and getting a surprise kill onto Brile.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good. I felt like they could have done more movements like that. But the OD, I mean, both games Saberlight just went ham after a certain point in time. And obviously, the PA was able to take over at a certain point. But Meteor Hammer, you have a setup for yourself, and you have a setup for Arrow, and then he ended up getting Aghanim Scepter, so double Astral, just keeping people in place forever. I mean, OD just feels incredible right now.
OD's solid. OD's definitely solid. I think there's a very specific way that you have to beat it. I think the way that you beat OD is by understanding that he's going to win the lane. There's nothing that you can really do to beat OD in lane. And not feeding it, I think, is really important, because if this hero pops off in the off lane, as we just saw, it would literally run around solo killing your farmed cores, because it just does so much damage with the pure damage from the Q and the ultimate. I mean, that's always been an ability that blows people up from 75% HP. It'll knock them down. I think we saw in a fight there, it did like 75% damage to a TB, and then he had to immediately pop Sunder, which means the PA could kill him, and then it killed like 2 other people, almost killed 2 other people. So you need to be really careful about feeding an OD like that. They actually did a fairly good job laning into it at the start. Once again, like this A-Team, they legitimately look very good at laning. Their laning is strong. Like, this is the sort of team, this Undying team, that most of these like tier 2 caliber teams will just get stomped by them in the lanes and it's over. Like, you don't even get to play Dota. We don't get to watch a Dota match. But both times we've actually got to see a post laning stage, rotations, mid game, and then they kind of falter at that point. But at least we got to see that, you know? And in this game, like, once again, like, their laning is good, but they make the mistake of trying to lane into an OD. You don't beat this hero in lane. Nothing beats this hero in lane, but you also, it just harasses, right? So you just buy a bunch of regen, you have a carry get like super farmed. I think the way you lane against this hero is like it's an Enigma. where you understand that the lane is, you're not going to stop the Enigma from denying creeps. You're not going to stop the OD from harassing you in lane. So your support just buys salves, chain pulls, and you just get as much solo XP on the carry as possible. But they didn't do that, and that's just the thing. Is like it depends on your experience against the OD and pubs, because this is a new hero. Not everybody knows how to deal with it. Clearly, Saberlight has been practicing this thing.
Level 1, 7 armor. Why? Why?
And what, 335 move speed, something like that? You get
Yeah, he's
boots on this
fast.
guy. You have
Yeah.
some 370 move speed guy running at you. His strength gain is incredibly good. His agi gain is incredibly good. I think every single game that I'm playing offlane OD, which I have been spamming because winning is nice. You look at your HP and it's you're like level 10 and it's like 2000 HP that you have, and then like 12 or 13 armor at like 12 minutes into the game. It's like, how is anybody going to kill this? Like that's so much effective HP on an offlaner that also does damage and is setting up and meteor hammering and pushing your towers and doing all of these things. It's like, okay, we have to kill this guy, but we can't because of stats. It's just it's too overbuffed. I mean, this is the classic Ice Frog. It's the classic Ice Frog.
How am I sounding now, gentlemen? Is it any better?
Great.
No?
Beautiful.
Great, good. All right, now, Jenkins, you were able to find a lot of positive for this team, and even just said it a bit there. And that's what I was going to ask initially. Is obviously it's a tough pill to swallow for a team. You know, having this kind of matchup is your debut for the upper division, but I'm sure there's a lot they can learn from this. As you mentioned, their laning mechanics are good. They have good laning. Maybe set yourself up a bit better. Look at the draft a bit harder, and then look at what you want to do if you do get yourselves in a position of either breaking even in lanes or being better and what you could do with that. But also shouldn't fault themselves too much. Undying is obviously a very, very good squad. And on that kind of note, as we wait for possibly a winner interview to come, where do we think this team could end up going? This is a team that had to work their way through the open qualifiers, while other teams like EG, Zoomers, Sad Boys, and I'm forgetting one other, Quincy Crew, all got the direct invite. Let's say Undying was already kind of established. You know, would you A, think they would deserve the invite directly in, and B, do you think they're going to get one of those top 2 spots to go to the major?
Yeah,
I'll start
I
with
would
you.
say, oh, it's a tough one. I mean, in terms of the invites, it was really hard for me between Sad Boys and Undying because neither have really been around too long in terms of just an actual team, but both teams have really established players overall. So I think most people are looking at this region and saying, okay, EG is going to take first place, which I don't think is 100% a given, but it is the most probable outcome still, which means who is number 2, and that one is definitely up for grabs. Quincy Crew have had a lot of success, but they've dropped off a little bit as of late. But of course, tournaments haven't been as consistent because of COVID and whatnot. But yeah, I think Undying is, based on just this performance alone, have a decent chance.
I think we're going to need to see them against a team that's been together for a long time, like Zoomers. For me, I put the top tier teams are Quincy, EG, Zoomers, and I would actually say that they're all relatively even. I think a lot of people would say like EG is 100% at the top. I think it's actually like it's too close. It's a toss up between all of those teams for the first 2 slots, and then I think Undying and Sad Boys are on the next level down, and then you have Black and Yellow on their own level, and then A Team and Five Man Midas basically looking to prove themselves. I really think that the synergy and the strats, like the smoke plays that we saw from 4 Zoomers, it's not just these like theoretical, I tried this in a pub, let's see how this goes sort of plays. Like these are things that these guys have theory crafted for months and months and months. Whereas teams like Sad Boys and Undying, like these are new groups of people that are telling each other these like ideas that they have. Like Zoomers, they're like a hive mind at this point, right? That's really hard to beat when they have shared ideas, shared concepts, and you can't just get that from starting a roster. So it really depends to me on how like Sad Boys and Undying, how quickly they can mesh together and like have that hive mind. Even if they work together as a team, like they're not, angry at each other because we have too many captain type personalities or whatever. There's still the point after that they have to get to where they have that sort of hive mind of shared ideas. We all agree on this is how to play Dota. Because right now it's 5 people that have a different concept of how to play Dota. Zoomers, they have the same way of playing Dota, exact same, and that's not something that you can force. Like that has to that takes time. So the question is like, how long does that take? Can they do
Would
that
you
before the end of this
would you
season?
say it's like a hive mind, Jenkins? Because you only said it 10 times.
Yeah, I
Hive
did
mind.
a few times there. Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay, just check.
Well, it does sound like we have an interview ready to go. We have Tomato in the other room. Let's go ahead and bring him on in. and ask this gentleman a couple of questions here to see how he feels after their first successful series. Tomato, I hope you can hear me. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it. Congratulations on your debut win into the official upper division of NADPC, taking down A Team. I mean, the obvious question is, how do you feel about that? And I want to follow up by saying, did you guys come in just kind of playing your game and the results are what they are? Or did you come in to try to, make a statement, essentially?
Hello, hi, thanks for having
Hello,
me.
of course.
It was very fun. I love playing Dota, and definitely playing the DPC League makes me happy. Our mentality is we take every single game we play as an official. It's a good habit to have as a team, in our opinion. So we just treat this as another game. It's just more practice for us because we're a new team together.
Excellent.
Tomato.
I have two intelligent
Oh.
gentlemen here who have big brain questions. Sunsfan, get that 5-head question out right now.
Well, I don't have a meme question set up this time around.
So-
I'll leave that for Jenkins. I
Sorry
have a
about
real
this in
question.
advance, Tomato. Sorry about his question in advance.
Yeah, I'm
No
really
worries.
sorry about this question, Tomato. What do you? I know you didn't play this hero, but what do you guys think of OD right now? Do you think he is like super broken, or is he just not being countered properly at this current point? Because every time I see him, it feels like it just goes off.
Yeah, so I think the hero's really strong. I mean, there's always like really strong heroes each patch, right? You just gotta look at the stats, and you look at the stats. I don't mean like stats as in like the games played, but like the hero stats. And you look at this hero, and he's so insane, man. Like he's got absurd stats. But I also do believe that in Dota, there's always a counter. That's why the game's so fun. Sometimes it's like really hard to find a counter for it, like it was for Sven last patch. But people learn, they adapt, and they develop new strategies for it. So I do believe that OD has counters. I'm not gonna say, but there are some counters to it.
Oh,
It just
okay.
comes down to how you approach to countering a hero. You want to counter the lane, the game, and so on.
Okay. Okay.
Where's the meme
I-
question? Set it
Now
up.
this is this is not a meme. You need to relax there over there, buddy. Okay, Mister Guy got a beard. All right. How have you found North American? Don't look at me like that, Dakota. I see you. How have you found NA/SA pubs since the DPC started? Have they gotten
Uh,
better?
Yeah, everything is very competitive right now. There's a lot of players right now. Because I play around during the quarantine times, and there weren't many people playing. It was really boring. It was like 4-digit games, 3-digit games. But right now it's like super competitive. Every time I look for a pub, there's like 2, 3 players, like pro players, and it's just way more fun. It's like good practice. When you play good Dota, you feel good. That's competitive life.
I agree.
Absolutely. You were mentioning a bit at the start on how you take these games obviously super serious with the DPC setup. And just to expand on that a bit, with the schedule as it is, you guys are playing usually just one series a whole week. So how do you feel about that? Because I've heard both sides of it. Teams are saying that feels like it's not enough games. We're not getting really enough practice, enough time to show up in front of our fans. Other people are saying that it's good because then you have a full week to essentially study your matchup and bring everything you can to the table when you play. What is your perspective on it? Do you like that, being able to have a full week to study up on your opponents and put on this hell of a series, or would you prefer to have a bit more, playing and airtime?
I would like an A to have playoffs. I think that will make it more fun because, like, yeah, group stage are like there is a different meta for group stage and playoffs. So playoffs are always more fun. But I think it's okay. It gives us time to practice and prepare. So like the entire week we just like practice, we talk, we practice, we talk, play pups, and then there's like official day, and then you play this game like it's the last day, the last match of your life. So it's really fun. I like it. You also have to put into perspective that there's like more regions, right? So if it was like an NA only event, I will be complaining that there's not enough games. But I know there's like Europe going on, CA going on, China going on. So you have to balance it out.
Of course. Well, Tomato, thank you so much for taking the time to stop by and chat with us. Congratulations again on your series today. We look forward to watching you again next week. It looks like you'll be back to match up against 5-man Midas next week. So best of luck with your preparation on that.
Thank you for having me, and thanks for the good luck.
Thank you. All right, that was Tomato.
What a cuddly guy.
Yeah, he's great. Fantastic.
I
on
was
the
noticing
interviews.
that too. He's really cuddly. He's really cuddly.
Yeah.
He's
Great
got those
guy.
vibes.
That's good. I love to hear that too, because any team's got a lot of slack for being just kind of like, whoa, whatever. But you hear it from the mouth. Like he's cordial. He's got great interview I don't want to say status, but he's great at interviews. He's taking the game seriously. They're taking the game's competition day super seriously. So we're going to see high caliber action, and I love to hear. I hope a lot of the other teams are sharing a similar mantra about how they're taking the DPC serious. So that's great stuff, and we're not done yet today. Now, that was a bit of a faster series being 2-0, and it is not going to be an accelerated schedule that you may be used to at some other events throughout the year. So what's going to happen now is we're going to cut to a break. There'll be a bit of an intermission. We'll be back at the scheduled time of 3 p.m. Pacific for our matchup of Black and Yellow versus 5-Man Midas. Gentlemen, enjoy your break. Chat, enjoy your break. We'll be back with more NA DPC Upper Division action soon.